Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking about the Liberation War and the trials and tribulations that most people went through. Our guest, he was a young lad of 10, and he was queuing up to collect some rice, and by the time he reached the end of the queue, there was nothing left to see. Anyway, he came back home, but his mother cooked up something, and she also said, very, very meaningful sentence, very powerful sentence, that if you guys, he and his brother, if you guys remained at home, we'll never be liberated. And out they went and fought a war that was to liberate the nation, liberate the country.
Yes, and 2 days later, my brother, all of a sudden, he decides to go. He said, I'm going. So he joins Melagor, where Khaled Musharraf was the bastion, the epitome of the freedom fighter, the Che Guevara of Bangladesh. So I'm left at home. So then what I do is, brother went for training. That was 3 weeks of training, and we formed a scout team. There were some senior brothers in this in the refugee camp. We made a cultural team. We used to go around to all the youth camps and freedom fighter training centers, Hapania, Bishalgor, Bisrampur, Melagor, Amtoli, all those areas. These are the Mukti Juddha camps. We used to go Gokul Nagar. We used to go with trucks, the cultural team, and go and sing patriotic songs. Rokter dame kinechi mora priyotamo shadhinota, roktei mora ragbo je tar man, tobush devona 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 golar dhan.
And you were well received by others.
Oh yes, we used to organize that. And then Sheikh Muni one day came. We used to call him Muni Mama, a giant of a man, the biggest baritone voice I ever heard after Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He said, the present incumbent Law Minister Anisul Haq and his brother, his cousins Shamim Bhai, Farad Bhai, and Nafis Bhai, we all used to live in the same camp. He came in and said, these are the newspapers, Joy Bangla and Banglar Bani. Hey, Tumi and Tumi, go and distribute. So he pointed me, because I was a bit tall and butch, and Ronnie was a very young, docile, amicable gentleman. God bless him. He just passed away a few months ago, last year. So we used to go around to Agartala, Amtoli, Gokul Nagar, and then GP Hospital, where there was a Mukti Juddha, Joy Bangla ward. We used to go and distribute those papers, newspapers, to create awareness about the Liberation War. And in the last phase of the Liberation War, October, November, myself and another friend, Shamor, we used to go to Agartala GP Hospital. There was a Joy Bangla ward where I was a Shebok, assistant to the nurse. So I had 3 patients, and bed number 19 was Bahar Bhai, Bahar Bir Bikram. He's still alive, a freedom fighter from Kumilla town who injured his leg. He was given this gallantry award for his bravery. He was one of my patients. I'm still in touch with him. I talked to him, and I used to read newspaper, nok kete ditam, unar oshud ditam, ebong unar oi paye khub byatha korto, ami pao tipe ditam. That was the job I was doing. And by the time it was October, my brother one day comes. He has become as if like 7 foot tall, big man. I couldn't recognize him, with a Sten gun in his shoulder, a green shirt and a green trouser, I think, yeah. So I met him, and then we went and we stolen a kathal from a tree. We both were hungry, so we had a kathal khete. Then he said, I'm going back to inside. So he was sent inside in Nobinagar subdivision. I think it was a subdivision, yeah. Nobinagar Thana, to facilitate all the freedom fighters traveling from Melagor to enter Dhaka, boat journey, take them through the Titash to Homna, and then Homna to Nasirnagar and Ramchandopur. This was the route of the freedom fighters coming into Dhaka, the crack platoon and all that, and they were the facilitators. So he was inside, and Dad was in Koilashore. We used to go and see him. My biggest fear in 1971 was I never slept a proper sleep ever in my whole tenure of the Liberation War, because 7 miles away was Melagor, 5 to 6 miles was Akhaura and Shaldanodi. So the bombing used to be happening every night, and I used to get thumping noise in my ear, as if the Pakistan army is walking towards our camp and they will kill us all. And whenever I used to go to Koilashore, my dad used to go to operation every other night. And every night they used to come back with a dead body, invariably. And I used to think, am I going to be orphan? Am I going to be orphan? Is Bhaijan going to make it? Will Abba make it? And if not, how long I'll be at home? I think I have to join the freedom fight. And will I be able to make it? Will I see the light of the morning sun of an independent Bangladesh? And that was my biggest fear. And it haunted me for 10 years later until up 1981. So what you see me today, it has
deeply
influenced me. It has shaped me, and I did not want to get involved and talk about freedom fight and talk about our contribution. I didn't want to, because Allah said in Quran, in Surah Anfal, make ready your strength to strike hard into the hearts of your enemies. And whatever you shall spend for the cause of your motherland shall be repaid unto you, and ye shall not be treated unjustly. And I always believed in that. So, but when I saw that there are people who are obliterating the history, the course of actions, the sacrifices that we have made to wear this badge. These are my father's, and I'm proud that I can wear it.
Well, because talking about your father's badges,
yes,
you brought something.
Yes, this is I have this
on the screen.
This is what I have in my living room.
Yep.
And these are all the medals that my father attained from 1952 to 1988. Mm-hmm. So I cherish them. I every day I walk past and I pay a reparation.
These are for services and gallantry.
Gallantry services, the freedom. This is the Rono Taroka. This is the Shamor Taroka. This is the Bijoy Taroka, and the last one is the Constitution, which is very important to my heart. Is because we were not freedom fighters who just fought for the sake of fighting. We had a vision. We wanted a country where people's rights are protected. Everybody has equal rights, the voting rights and everything. And the Constitution medal is very close to our heart. Yeah. And this is what envisaged by the leader of the nation. He wanted to give us this, but then we had so many troubles, and so many infiltrators came in and took over the country, ruined it for us.
Well, it happens everywhere.
It has happened, everywhere. Yes.
But all these events impacted you and your life, and you decided to join the army.
Well, I decided, this is a by chance. I always wanted to be in the army because I always felt the hollowness inside my father's body, mind and soul, because he wanted my elder brother Momin or Babul to be in the army. Yeah. That didn't happen. My grandfather served in the First World War with the British Indian Army, British Army from Bengal Ambulance Corps. My father joined the Pakistan Police and then transferred to EPR and then Freedom Fight. He raised 18 East Bengal Regiment, Sylhet in Khadimnagar, single-handedly. Yep.
You were talking about the Bengal Regiment when it was created and then
yes,
abolished.
This is very important. Bengal had a problem because we are not very good in being in the military. So 1857.
It was considered then.
Yeah.
But
1857, we were wrongly accused that we are the one who perpetuated the trouble in the Sepoy Mutiny. So all the armies were disbanded. Then in First World War, there was an army which was raised by Bengal, and even the whole of the First World War Bengal army, the 49 regiment, including Nazrul, Kamal tune Kamal kiya bhai, ho ho ho, Kamal tune Kamal kiya bhai. The whole campaign's wages were paid, 1.5 million pounds sterling was paid by Bengali Jamindars, Rajas, Maharajas, landowners and the gentry. And today's money, before I came into your show, I checked, today's money, it is 168,111 pounds 16 pence. That is what we coughed up to be in the army, to get our pride back.
After Brexit, it will be lower.
It will be lower, but as it is falling. Now, then in 1950, had Major Ghani, his son is a very good friend of mine, Brigadier Ghani, Khaled Ghani, he's a very good friend of mine. And I always tell him that your father should be given a posthumous Bir Shrestha. Because if Major Ghani did not make East Bengal Regiment in 1950 in Pakistan Army, there would have been hardly any arms resistance in 1971. It would have not happened, honestly, trust me. Whatever, I mean, Bengal regiment and 4 Bengal, the other regiments all actually did. 1st Bengal, 2nd Bengal, 3rd Bengal, 4 Bengal, 5 Bengal from Syedpur, and then 8 Bengal in Kumilla. And then in the Liberation War, we raised 9, 10, 11, 3 other regiments were raised. But Khalid Musharraf, as a Bengal regiment regular officer, what he has done is that country should pay him enormous debt, because he converted that regular war into a guerrilla warfare. And Melagor was the biggest hub. It had in excess of 100,000 freedom fighters. And Indian governments, Indian army, Indian BSF was doubting him. Why do you need so much of ration? Because they couldn't understand the influx of freedom fighters going through Melagor. And if he had not, him and Haidar, if they did not convert that regular freedom fighting, because Usmani was a very orthodox kind of army officer, he wanted to have regular regiments, but India didn't want regular regiments. India wanted quick turnover and send it, infiltrate into and disrupt and dislodge the Pakistan army.
You also met Major Kamrul Hassan, maybe you met too, the one who has written many books, and he was saying the same thing, that when Khalid wanted more money for food and more this and more that, they were doubting, where's the food going to?
Yes, I went twice. I mean, we used to go to Melagor quite often. Melagor, Bishalgor. Then my fufu used to live in Bishalgor, and there Bisrampur was the hospital, Bangladesh hospital, where I used to go. Major Akhtar was there. We had a lot of patients. Our cousins were injured, and they were there. We used to go and see him. Melagor, we went quite a few times. We did 4 or 3 musical soirees in Melagor to encourage the freedom fighters. I had the opportunity to meet Khalid Musharraf many a time. What an epitome of a man, what a brave man. And the contribution, he's my hero, because the first day I saw him, it's still stuck in my mind. And I wanted to emulate his lifestyle by joining the army. But I was not I was a casual army officer, because I didn't like the pomp and ceremony and all of that. So, but freedom fighting and the liberation war has shaped me. Hence, you will perhaps see me regularly, you probably see me regularly. I'm involved with so many philanthropic work, so many community cohesion, so many interfaith work, because I strongly believe that there are a lot of works to be done to enrich ourselves, to make ourselves understand. I go around to Cardiff, to Birmingham, to Manchester, to London, and everywhere. I go and speak to the youngsters, young boys and girls, to go and join the British Army, Navy, and Air Force. You know, it gives them a sense of direction. It gives them a sense of pride, sense of camaraderie, and it will actually give them some purpose in life instead of living a life without an aim. So I do it because this all happened to me, and I have seen the dark side of my life in 1971. This Bangladesh has not come cheap for us. It has been very, very precious.
Those were the wonderful days, good sacrifices, wonderful officers, dedicated people and all that, you see. But are we happy? I mean, are you, who has seen the real war, real sufferings, you see, are you happy with the situation now, or can we do better? We deserve better, definitely.
I mean, we deserve better, but look, what I feel is we have come a long way with all the obstacles, with all the problems, with all the hindrance, with all the man-made troubles. We have come a long way in the sense that Bangladesh is growing at 7.8%, 7%. It's a year-on-year growth, and Bangladesh is now. This is another day I would like to come and talk about how from muslin to poplin, how we have become the world's biggest clothing manufacturer. Once upon a time in 24 AD, the Roman Senate was shouting, why are you sending so much of gold to a small place called Bangladesh? And the senator said, the speaker of the Senate said, because if you guys stop wearing those white robes, and if your wives stop wearing those white robes, we don't have to send gold to Bengal. Now, to give you an example, in 1770, when the British took over East India Company, at that time, Bengal was sending in excess of 770,000 tons of clothing, I mean garments or textiles to UK before the Lancashire and all this textile boom happened. And look at today, nobody knew us. Only 3 countries in the world who helped us.
Well, thank you very much. On
Thank
that
you.
very beautiful note, we have to end this show today.
Pleasure is all
Thank
mine.
you.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Well, it was a great pleasure talking to Mr. Imran Ahmad Chowdhury about
Okay.
the Liberation War and the trials and tribulations and of course the success. That is a wonderful story. Hope you enjoyed the show as much as we have. Same time, same channel next week. In the meantime, take care. Bye.